live Michelle A's here. So, will there be food vendors there? Will there be photographers? Will there be limousines? What will be there? Give us more insight.
So I don't believe there is a photographer for that event. I have to double check that list and be sure. But I do know there is a car and limo service. Just a Dream Limos here in Chicago, based out of Chicago, actually out of, I don't want to say the wrong city, so I'll just say Chicagoland. So we have them, we have hairstylists, we have makeup artists, we've got dress designers, florists. I mean, we've got pretty much what we hope for is that a kid can walk into this expo from the front door and they can literally book every service they need for their prom night before they walk out.
Okay, so if y'all want to get more information, you have to come out to this wonderful fashion show expo this weekend, which is this Saturday, February the 21st. The location is going to be...
It's at Austin Career Education Center, 5352 West Chicago Avenue.
Now tell us about this other fashion show that you have.
The Amalgamation Fashion Show and Benefit, actually this coming October will be our 5th event. So every year, with the exception of 2014, every year we produce this fashion show. We feature up to 15 newer independent fashion designers and boutiques and give them an opportunity to showcase their line and their offerings during Chicago Fashion Week.
What is it about that fashion show versus the prom expo? What's the difference?
Well, that one is a straight runway show. So there's, we feature, to the best of my ability, we feature all Chicago-based artists for the runway music. It's all Chicago-based designers. Most of the time we don't have manufacturer designers, quote unquote, where, someone is actually just sketching it out and then they're sending it over to China to have it, made. Most of our designers are actually making everything in-house in Chicago.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all want more information, you can go to her website, which is
www.lovediacouture, LOVEDIACOUTURE.com.
And if you want to email her at
info, that's INFO, at lovediacouture, LOVEDIACOUTURE.com.
Now, I believe your fashion show, we have it right here in our email that, yes, we have it here because Tiffany put it in my inbox. We have the flyer here, so if y'all want more about it, a twice over fashion graduate, she has done a lot, graduated from Bradley University in Peoria. She loves fabric contouring. She's full-time retail merchandising, and she loves what she does, especially going to the International Academy of Design of Technology, and her major is this. So fashion is her life. So if you have any questions, you got to get in contact with this young lady because she has a lot of emphasis on fashion and design. And this is not no run-of-the-mill little fashion prom fashion show or anything like that. She has her creativity in it. You do have your work in it as well, right?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your work.
Well, my line is actually a modular line. I don't do the segmented, fall 2015, spring 2016 collections. It's a modular collection where you can actually build from one season to the next and kind of stretch out your wardrobe.
Okay.
Most of the pieces are going to be designed for body types falling between about a size 8 up to about a size 18. So we deal with what we call the midi market, where you might be too curvy for standard petite sizes, but then you're not curvy enough for plus size. So that's the market that we cater to. And then of course most of my clothing is going to be a little avant-garde. I try to take really out there ideas and make them wearable. One of our collections was inspired by rock and roll and lamb chops sing-along. So
really?
Yeah, I have a habit of that. I take really odd ideas and put them together to create the looks.
Okay. So you have a very creative mind.
I hope so.
So what was your very first design that you did?
Oh my gosh, I was You want my first design or my
Yeah.
first legitimate design?
Your first legitimate design.
My first legitimate design was probably 2005, I think. I created an Afrocentric look for a pastor in on the west side of Chicago. She wanted something that was. She'd lost a lot of weight after having children, and I think she was, feeling a lot more confident in her body. So she wanted to feel better in her clothes without misrepresenting her ministry. So we created looks for her, or a look for her that reflected both her ministry, her new confidence, as well as she was very kind of Afrocentric and, Black community centered in her mindsets.
So what do you have in store after the Prom Expo and after the big fashion show? And what's the date of that fashion show again? Amalgamation?
Amalgamation. The exact date hasn't been released yet. It's usually between the last 2 and 3 weeks of October.
Do you have a location already?
Not yet. We're going to probably try and see which way we want to go. The first 3 years, we actually rented out a church, St. Stephen AME. They were a great home for that. And then we kind of tried to branch out and move to a new location in 2013. So we'll see where we end up this year.
Okay. And this fashion show, which is going to be held at the Austin Career Educational Center. Now, even though it's a expo, it's going to be a fashion show, right?
Sort of. We do have a living model display, so we have some awesome Chicago models that are going to be showing off a few of the designers' works, as well as some of the makeup artists' techniques. We do have on-the-hour demos that will be they'll be announced that day, but there's going to be a styling demo. There will be a hair demo. There will be a makeup demo. It's on the hour.
So you have makeup artists, hairstylists, limousine service. You have clothing,
makeup, cosmetics.
Okay. So this is an overall event that you cannot miss this weekend, February 21st.
Yep.
At the Austin Career Educational Center, 5352 West Chicago Avenue. You got to come on out to the Prom Expo. Now it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of excitement. You got to come on out. And hey, parking is there, but it is preferably if you drive. Now, what about people who, like me, who have to carry a big news camera?
Oh, wow, that looks heavy.
Yeah, the big news camera around. So how can the media, are there any other media outlets going to be there?
I'm actually waiting for confirmation back from our PR girl, but we do actually welcome media to attend and cover the event.
We would love to cover your event.
Yeah, you just...
Who's the marketing person?
That is Melody Boykin at Black Fashion America.
Oh, Melody Boykin. Oh.
We love her. She's so awesome.
That's right, Melody Boykin. She just recently had her event, fashion show, that was held at the Charles Hayes Center, and that was February 6th, and it was Black Fashion Week
USA.
Unfortunately, we missed it because we were stuck in traffic.
Oh, no.
Yes, we were en route there, so we thought, okay, well, since we're sitting there, we'll make the next day, but it wasn't the next day.
Yeah.
So we're happy that you're here. So we're able to talk with Miss Delcy Norwood and Miss LaWanda Norwood as they talk about the Prom Expo this weekend, February 21st, here in Chicago at the Austin Career Educational Center, 5352 West Chicago Avenue. If you have any questions, they'll be glad to talk with you. Designers of Love, Dia Couture. Wow, that's a lot. So, what is it with fashion today? What do you see that needs to be changed in fashion?
Well, fashion is ever changing, so I can't totally
in the African American community, I should say.
Even in our community, fashion is ever changing. The trends come, and it's awesome because so much of what you see on the runway, and so many of the trends that you see in the actual department stores and these mainstream commercial locations, it's originating in this community. It originates, the natural hair movement is everywhere now. Now you've got all this huge market for clothing that either complements the natural hair movement or reflects the natural hair movement. So, so many of the trends start here. The one thing I can say that I would love to see happen within not just the Black fashion community, but in the fashion community in general, is seeing people support. There's this habit of, we don't support these designers until they've already made it, but we can't make it without the support, So I would love to see people start thinking more consciously and start supporting these local designers. Maybe they only have one boutique. Maybe they're only in one boutique. Right now we're in Sophisticate on 53rd and Hyde Park, and then we're also in Second Time Around on Milwaukee for our line. But there's designers here.
So where do you do your creations at?
I have a home studio. We do everything in-house, from the patterning to the finishing to the steaming and pressing. We do everything.
Okay. So do you work on manual machines or automatic machines?
It's an electric machine. We have industrial machines.
Industrial machines? Mm-hmm. So you be rattling and rolling and shaking the whole building with those big industrial machines.
She's a noisy thing.
Okay. So what do you tell young, inspiring designers about getting into this industry?
I always warn them that you have to be tough-skinned. The fashion industry is one where you're constantly up for criticism, and you create these very personal works of art, which is what they are, and then you hold them up for other people to tell you if they're good or not. So you have to be able to be very thick-skinned, and also to be able to take criticism with a grain of salt. Just because one person looks at, one of your designs and one of your pieces you put together and they want something different doesn't necessarily mean that, it's a bad design. So that's one of the things we try to keep kids aware of, being able to focus on the quality of your garment and the completion of your garment, as opposed to looking at it from a standpoint of how many of your family members like it. So
with fashion, where do you see it going in the next 5 years? Proms. Because, when I came out of high school, women used to wear dresses. Now it's coming to the point that women are wearing tuxedos.
Yeah.
What's with that?
I think that comes out of a trend that came in the mid to late 90s, where menswear inspired women's wear was a really big thing. And so what you'll see is that, obviously it's nothing new under the sun. The old trends become new again. Mm-hmm. Menswear is now, and probably will be for the next few years, a really strong influence in all of women's clothing, including prom. So it'll be a matter of designers getting really creative to kind of cater to that market and create looks that are pleasing and beautiful, and both on trend at the same time.
Let's talk real business. Who do you prefer to cater to? Really? Who gives you the less problems in this industry?
Oh.
Yeah, we talking real now. Come on, we talking real. We ain't going to sugarcoat anything.
I don't know what you're talking about. I love my clients. They're not problems at all.
You're lucky the news cameras right now.
I mean, it's one of those things where...
Be real, because, young designers get into this industry. They get into this industry to learn about it, and then they find out about the pitfalls about it later, and they think they're going to make big money because they go to the Illinois Institute of Art and Design and all these top fashion schools, Columbia College and everything downtown, and then come to find out they're not making any money.
Yeah, I realize that that has happened a lot, where some of the kids come out and they think day one they're gonna graduate and they're gonna get a job being head designer for some small boutique, and they're gonna make $42,000 a year, and it simply doesn't work that way. What tends to happen is, just like any business, that it takes time to grow and it takes time to turn a profit, and there's a period in time where you spend more than you make. That's the truth. As you start your business and you market your services. For us, it's not so much that any of our clientele is problematic. We know that, especially when you're dealing with custom clothing and you're dealing with a non-designer who may not necessarily be able to communicate those design details that they want in the language that you've been trained in. It's a matter of being able to do very good consultations to get that information out of them, being able to put those ideas on paper, and being able to still work with that client, because we always have the one girl who has this idea in her head of what she wants to look like, without realizing that maybe that look she thinks she wants isn't the best look for her. So then being skilled enough and educated enough in our field to be able to make recommendations. And, I want you to look your best because you want to look your best, but because I'm putting my name on it. So how about this? Why don't we try these details? Why don't we try adding this feature?